Rebel Force Radio presents.
This is Billy Dee Williams, Lando Calrissian. It's time for the quote of the week.
Billy Dee. And the quote of the week. Billy Dee comes to Cleveland? What?
Yeah.
Billy Dee in
that's
Cleveland?
right. Well, it was only a matter of time before the Cleveland show featured Billy Dee Williams himself. Now, I don't watch the Cleveland show. I certainly have seen Family Guy a bunch of times. I've seen the Cleveland show a couple times. It's a fun show. It's, kind of like Family Guy, obviously done by McFarlane and his crew. So there's going to be similarities. But I don't know if they hit Star Wars over the head like they tend to on Family Guy, with multiple references per season and complete shows dedicated. Obviously, I know they haven't done a complete show. I think Seth MacFarlane was threatening that when people asked him after the Return of the Jedi parody of Family Guy came out, they said, well, what about the prequels? And he goes, we'll leave that to the Cleveland show. So you never know. But Billy Dee Williams himself reprised his role as Lando Calrissian on the Cleveland show in the episode called Back to Cool. It featured Cleveland competing in the Cool Olympics. And there were three judges. One was Snoop Dogg, the other was Tony Hawk, and the third was Lando Calrissian. Not Billy Dee Williams, Lando Calrissian in character. So I don't know if what canon level this necessarily falls under, but I'll let all the continuity cops figure that out. For me, it was just a good laugh. Let's check it out. This is...
Can we get a petition going to Seth MacFarlane here to make sure that he honors canon? Please? Can someone make that happen?
Yes. It's long overdue because he is one of the chief violators in the world of pop culture.
No doubt.
Actually, Family Guy does and Seth, they do a marvelous job parodying and lampooning Star Wars. And the Cleveland show does a good job with the character of Lando Calrissian. Here he is being introduced as a judge for the Cool Olympics.
All the way from Cloud City, Lando Calrissian.
You no good, low-down Cool Olympians. Just kidding. I'm nice and cool.
I've never heard of these judges.
I love when he does the psycho laugh.
Yeah.
That psycho Billy Dee laugh of his. It appears every once in a while. He did it in Robot Chicken. He did it in the video game. Was it called Jedi Outcast? I can't remember the name of the video game where he just does that crazy Billy Dee laugh. And he actually does it in Return of the Jedi, too, with Nine Numb riding shotgun. They have a big chuckle together.
Right,
but
right.
Nothing beats that Billy Dee laugh.
Just kidding. I'm nice and cool.
All right, now this goes back a couple shows ago where we had Billy Dee doing some poetry to music.
Yeah.
And apparently we have very easily influenced listeners, I think. Speaking of Cleveland, we had Adam Gilbert from Cleveland, Ohio. Right in. And do you want to take this one, Jim, or you want me?
Sure.
Yeah.
Last week, my school was doing a poetry week, and everyone in my high school English class was required to read aloud a poem of their choice. After hearing Billy Dee reciting those poems at Wizard World, I couldn't think of anything else to recite. So when it was my turn, I got up in front of the class and recited Insanity. Much to my surprise, the teacher was furious after I had finished. She asked me where I had gotten the poem, and I told her it was written by Brian Liss and that Billy Dee read it in Toronto this January. When she asked, "Who's Billy Dee?" I told her he was the spokesman for Colt 45 liquor. I think he means malt liquor. Looking back on it, I probably should have said he was Lando Calrissian. I was sent to the principal and had to explain why I'd chosen such a sexual poem and why I chose to read it from an alcohol spokesman. When all was said and done, I had to apologize to the class and to my teacher. I still think my teacher took the poem a little too seriously, but then again, I'm not as smooth as Billy Dee. Well, Adam, that's a lesson learned for you, young man, because no one is as smooth as Billy Dee. And when you start heading into that that territory, you better be very careful because smoothness can backfire.
Yes, it can. And when I was reading this email, I thought, well, how sexual was it? We actually have the clip here on what young Adam Gilbert from Cleveland read to his class. He doesn't say what grade he's in. I hope Adam's at least in high school.
Well, he says in his high school English class.
Oh, he said. So. Oh, that's right. He did say high school. So yeah, okay, all right. But here it is. Here's Billy Dee's poem "Insanity." Now imagine you're a sophomore in high school in your English class, and this is what you get up to read.
I want to consume you, to bite you everywhere, to feel you, to hear you. Insane. I must be insane.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you must be insane to read that in your high school English class.
But good for you, you know.
No, that's actually Adam, off of the album. That was not the cut from Billy Dee at Wizard World. The Billy Dee was he promoting this record? Because isn't there there's this record of Brian List poetry?
Actually, you know, that's where we first heard Billy reading some of this poetry, but it wasn't Insanity that he performed at Wizard World. It was a different poem altogether. But Adam decided to go with Insanity. Yeah. Written by Brian List, as he mentioned, who we believe he runs the List Gallery up in Toronto. And Billy Dee obviously associates with Brian via his artwork and stuff. So the two of them got together, collaborated, and came up with these wild poems.
What was that night like when they, you know what would be cool?
I picture a lot of shag carpeting around. I don't know what it is.